President Trump celebrating 100 days of his second term. He has issued dozens of executive orders aiming to reshape U.S. policy on trade, immigration, DEI, though the latest poll numbers suggest some of that momentum may be starting to cool off. So how do Arizonans feel about Trump 2.0? I am joined now by Mike Noble of Noble Predictive Insights and former Arizona State Senator and GOP strategist Sam Barnes to talk about it. So Mike, let's start with you. Welcome, both of you.
Oh, thanks.
142 executive orders in 100 days, the most of any American president. How are Arizonans reacting to all this change?
Arizonans are reacting that they're a little nervous and a little unsettled. I mean, one, it's unprecedented circumstances that we've come through, but from the national polling and from our regional polling, we've seen that Arizonans and other voters alike have really started dropping their opinion when it comes to Trump. So, for example, in the national average, Trump started above water, which he wasn't above water his entire first term, but now he's 9.7 points underwater nationally, which is actually the lowest of any president since they started collecting historical data. The lowest point at 100-day mark. So basically they're a little worried about that, especially just it seems like a lot of chaos, a lot of things going on, and with recession talks, and consumer confidence is down as well.
Yeah, because Republicans have 401ks and Republicans are worried about the economy. So let's talk about that, Stan. The tariffs definitely shook up the global market. And I think a lot of people who voted for Trump voted for him because of inflation. And yet they're now faced with a 28% tariff rate coming down the pipeline. So what say you about what he's doing to the economy right now?
Yeah, I say that this is what I voted for. That's the slogan. This is what I voted for. I voted for change. I voted for the secure border. I voted for shaking up the establishment. I voted for doing something on the international stage. I get that as poll numbers ebb and flow, they do, because we are fickle human beings.
Of course.
But in the end, if it works out, all will be forgiven. In the meantime, this is what it feels like to make an omelet. We're breaking eggs everywhere. I'm not defending the president. What I'm saying is I think most people who voted for him are willing to give him a chance. I know it's been 100 days. It feels like 100 years practically, right? I mean, it is like ongoing Trump 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It feels like that since 2016 when he started.
Oh, yeah.
But so it is brand new. The presidency is brand new. And he is busting things up, and a lot of Americans, whether they can articulate it or not, are excited about that change. And so I think there's a cautious optimism that remains.
For everyone else who didn't vote for Trump, their heads are spinning. In fact, New York Senator Chuck Schumer said it's been 100 days of hell. And if you ask a federal worker, I mean, what DOJ did, tens of thousands were laid off. That came as quite a shock to Democrats and Republicans, would you say?
Yeah, no, you've seen dropping numbers, especially among independents and with like Hispanic Latinos, for example. Where you're seeing these numbers stronger is among Republicans, but the different factions of Republican, the more Make America Great Again loyalists have stayed tried and true, but the more traditional Republicans or the Reagan Republicans, they're dropping off a little bit. Still overall supportive, but what's really interesting you've seen is that Trump's job approval, when it got pretty negative in his first term, he still had high marks on his dealings with the economy. Now you actually see that those numbers are one and the same, where his economic job approval and his regular job approval are kind of tied together. So to Stan's point is that, you know, this is what a make an omelet looks like. However, with the midterms coming up, they sure as heck need to get this ship on the right track by that point. If not, this may end up terribly for Republicans.
Yeah, fair enough, Ashley. I think it's important to point out that one good photograph can recalibrate everything. Him sitting with the president of Ukraine in the Vatican, that one-on-one chair thing, that has a way of recalibrating the American psyche. Look at the president, one-on-one, one chair to another. When have we seen that?
Yeah.
There is so much excitement in his engagement. He is doing more than any other president in our lifetime in this short span.
Let's talk about that, because he is doing well polling-wise when it comes to immigration and the border.
Correct.
So deportations are down. Would you go ahead and put the feather in his cap for that?
Amen. I mean, when he said in his State of the Union or his address to Congress, you didn't need a change of law, you just need a change of the president, I felt like that resonated everywhere. What Joe Biden and his administration said was, we can't do anything about the border. We need an act of Congress. Trump gets elected, the border goes closed. That American people see that. They don't discount that. They value that.
And really quickly, before you guys go, let's look ahead to next year, the Arizona gubernatorial election. So far, Trump has given dual endorsement for his pick on the GOP ticket, former candidate Karen Taylor Robson and Republican Congressman Andy Biggs. So why can't he choose one?
I don't know.
Mike,
Let's narrow this down.
That's a great question. So basically, Trump, he did the CD8 special election for Congress. Recently, he did 2, so he did both in that one. But it went from Robeson having the advantage to, I'd say, it's now competitive. And I think this is going to end up being a slugfest and a much more interesting contest than it was prior.
Unlike many politicians, Trump can have more than one girlfriend. He has 2 friends right here, both running, and so now that plane is even. Now it's up to Mr. Biggs and Ms. Robeson to figure out who has the money to tell their message.
Yeah.
Both will claim the endorsement of the big guy, and that levels the field.
All right, you guys ready for the next 100 days?
Yes.
Oh,
Bring it on.
I'm
Bring it on.
exhausted. Thank you, Stan, Mike Noble, for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Ashley.